Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Global Sources Summit. Without further ado, we are pleased to welcome Brandon Yang, CEO of Cellular System. And Brandon today will share with us customer insight for demand prediction and conversion optimization with case study on sport and outdoor products. Let's welcome Brandon.
Thank you. It's great to be here. So I always love coming to Asia. I come to China quite a bit. My wife is from China, and we have our team in Guangzhou. So a little bit about me. And let me go back to where that is. Sorry. There we go. So we started selling on Amazon in 2015, and we were doing reselling. So we were buying goods of other people's brands and then selling them on Amazon. So wholesale liquidation. And we were a big part of that was forecasting demand, because you had to understand how many units you should buy so that you could turn your capital over. But you also were sharing the buy box with people. And then that changed quite a bit in 2016 when we decided to start creating our own brands. We had to start forecasting the demand, but we didn't have a listing that was existing with any history, so how could we do that? And so a lot of it was guesswork in the beginning, but we started to, through failures and successes, really understand what data to look at in order to choose the right products that would lower the risk of doing that product. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about doing the data analysis of a product to limit the risk so that you understand how successful that product can be. But also by looking at the data, you can determine how many units you should order, right? And that's super important for understanding how many you should produce if you're a factory, or you should sell to your customer. And you can use that as a way of letting them know what types of products from variations and styles, and how many they should order. Now, there's a lot of factors that go into this. One of the factors that goes into it is going to be around the style that you choose to do, right? Your style should be very different than the current styles that are on the market. You'd like to probably vary and improve that in some way. But a lot of people get caught up because they'll see the best sellers are selling 10,000 units a month, and they think they can duplicate that success. So by looking at the right data today that I'm going to teach you how to do, you're going to be able to tell what type of success the competitors are having that you can realistically duplicate as well. Now, in 2023, we did over $20 million in Amazon with our own brands. And since 2018, we've been teaching how to sell on Amazon, how to choose the right products, how to validate those, how to design the right content, and then how to get it to Amazon and market it in the right way so that you can rank it on the right keywords. For us, everything that we teach is around data analysis. If you don't have a data point to help you make a decision, then you're just guessing. And we're trying to take the guesswork out of e-commerce and out of selling on Amazon. In 2018, when we started teaching, it was more around teaching people what we had learned from the mistakes we had made. And we continue to do that to this day. So now we have thousands of students doing all sorts of, from beginner to very advanced sellers. As a matter of fact, in our private mastermind, we have over 1,000 sellers, and over 400 of them are doing over $1 million a year on Amazon. My community of students has over $3 billion in US sales alone on Amazon. And in 2022, we took a lot of those strategies that we teach around data, because a lot of it is very data intensive, and we created a software called Data Dive. Now, this software helps you automate the process of data analysis, gathering and aggregating all of the data from all of the competitors, and making it very fast for you and your team to analyze product. So today we're going to talk about some of the fundamental research, some of the advanced strategies, and then I'm going to walk through a case study live with you where we're going to analyze a sports and outdoor product and talk about the different factors that I would look at to forecast the demand and the styles of it. So good keyword research tells us quite a bit. It tells us how competitive a product is. If I look at, and I'll explain why that is, if I look at a product and there are 100 good keywords that drive sales for that product, meaning that there are 100 different ways people search for that product, and all 10 of my top 10 selling competitors are ranked on the first page of those keywords, that is very saturated. It's going to be very difficult to beat those sellers from an SEO perspective. The reality is most sellers on Amazon are not good at SEO. So what ends up happening is you will find that the first and second seller might be good and ranked on most of those keywords, but the third, fourth, fifth sellers, they start to really fall off pretty quickly. And you'll find that the majority of the search volume is not being taken advantage of by most sellers. So you need to be able to reverse engineer and understand all the keywords that drive demand, and then also be good enough to rank for all of those keywords, right? So it's so many different learning curves and moving parts. You're also going to see the overall opportunity in sales volume, because if you know what keywords are realistic for you to rank on, and the search volume of those keywords, and the sales that they are generating for your competitors, you can reverse engineer how many sales you should get if you rank on similar keywords. So this is where we're going to talk about demand generation, where we can understand maybe I can rank on 60 or 70% of that search volume in the first month. That's going to be pretty average. How many sales does that equal, right? So we can kind of reverse engineer these numbers. We're also, and that's going to lead us to how many products we can order. The data analysis and the keyword research is also going to help us learn how to write our listing, because Amazon's ranking algorithm takes into consideration what we call your indexing or your relevancy. So it's your performance of your listing times your relevancy. And the relevancy is established only by writing the keywords in your listing and in the right order. So if I write a word backwards, it's called a broad match. So if I write toiletry bag in my listing, I can rank 100% for toiletry bag. That is a relevancy score of 1. That means my performance is true and I am good. But if I write bag toiletry, that is a broad match. It is backwards. Amazon doesn't know for certain that I am selling a toiletry bag. Just because I put the two words together, they think I might be. So what they're going to do is give you partial credit. A lot of people try to cut corners and they just throw all the words together to try to hit many different keywords. And what they fail to do is hit the keyword in the exact form, and you lower your relevancy. So writing your listing properly to maximize ranking potential, we call it ranking juice. You need to make sure you always write your listing to maximize your ranking potential for the maximum number of keywords and the most search volume, right? And this is how you beat your competitors. So you take it from the data analysis, from when you're doing the product validation, and then you bring it into writing your listing properly. This is also going to tell us the overall risk. Like I said in the beginning, if most of your competitors are ranked very highly for most of those keywords, it's a very difficult and saturated market for you. So proper keyword research and data analysis in the very beginning is going to be the key to choosing the right products and understanding so much about a niche. So let's talk about why products fail a little bit. The first is that people don't have enough capital. So we talked about demand generation, and if you do this improperly and you think that you can launch a product and only order 500 units, the problem is that what if you sell 500 units in the first 3 weeks? Now you're left out of inventory for at least 2 months, because you've got to order more at the factory, you've got to get it on a boat, and you've got to send it over. And in that time, your listing has established a lot of negative history. Remember, I referenced that ranking is your performance times your relevancy. If you're out of stock, your performance is 0. You are now averaging a bunch of zeros into your performance. And so when you get back in stock after 30 days, you will have difficulty recovering the keyword ranks of your products. So what we try to recommend is that you do this initial data analysis first. You order enough inventory, and you do not choose products that you don't have the capital to keep up with the demand. Oh. So another reason that people fail is because they don't have enough profit per sale. And I see this regularly where people brag about their revenue on Amazon. And I'll be real with you guys. We did over $20 million on Amazon, but our net was single digits. Right? We had a very tough year from a lot of different issues that we faced. We had products that failed. We had issues with Lots of launches. We got inventory in late. We had a lot of additional fees that we had not anticipated, and it ate into our margin. Now, luckily, we launched over 100 products last year, and most of those new products did really well to off-balance that. But the problem is that people do not properly account for every single fee that you have to pay when you sell a product. There are now so many new fees at Amazon, that including inventory placement fees and low inventory fees and return fees. And so by the time you take your true landed cost, your COGS at Amazon, and then you calculate with your advertising cost, which has gone up significantly as well. We used to average around 6 or 7% of our total sales in advertising. So that's called tacos. Total advertising over total sales was about 6 or 7%. Now it's 12 to 14%. It has more than doubled. And that is directly coming off the bottom line of your profit margin that you make in your business. So you must properly account for a presumed marketing budget and all of these additional fees to get it into Amazon's warehouse and start selling it. And if you're not doing the math correctly, you could end up at the end of the day making money, making a lot of revenue, but $0, or even worse, losing money. Another reason people fail is that they don't have enough search volume. We're going to do the data analysis and we're going to understand. We might want to sell a product that we fall in love with, and this is what I find a lot of times. People fall in love with an idea, and then they really push themselves and they use every single logical loop in their mind and they jump through hoops to try to justify doing that product. You cannot fall in love with the idea. You have to use the data to make the decisions, right? And so what ends up happening is you order a lot of these products that you think will work without validating it, without looking at the data, and then you get it into Amazon and then you realize it doesn't sell. Either because you chose the wrong design, but mostly it could also be because the demand just wasn't there, right? Maybe those top sellers are getting their sales from generic keywords that you could never possibly rank on. Toy for 4-year-old girl is not a keyword that you can launch a toy and quickly rank on the first page for, believe me. I sell a lot of toys. So you need to be realistic about what the true demand of your product niche is before you order that product. Another reason is that there are not enough keywords or route diversification. So similar to the last problem that you would have is if it wasn't toy for 4-year-old girls, let's say it's a Slinky. A Slinky is a toy from the 80s and 70s, maybe even the 60s in the United States, where it's a spring that the kids can play with, right? If I want to sell a Slinky on Amazon, do you know maybe the only keyword right now might be Slinky, right? Maybe it's spring toy, but if I search for a spring toy, maybe there's like 40 new different types of toys that have springs in them. So the reality is I cannot sell that Slinky toy that I want to sell outside of one keyword, right? So there's very little diversification of ways people are searching. We want to find products with a lot of different keywords, a lot of different ways people are looking for that product. And I'll give you an example with that toiletry bag example. In America, a toiletry bag can be found in many different ways. If you search for shaving kit or shaving bag, toiletry bag, men's bathroom bag, men's toiletry bag, DOP kit. Most people don't know what a DOP kit is. I don't even know what it is, and I'm from America, but a very small percentage of Americans call it a DOP kit. If you search any of those different keywords, you will find the same bag. It is the same bathroom bag that holds your toothbrush and your razor, and you could travel with it, right? So this is what we're looking for when we're looking for data and analysis, and we're looking at all the different keywords. We want to find a wide diversity of keywords and different ways people call products, because this is going to allow us to beat our competition and really understand the true demand of this product. So another reason people fail is that too many sellers are selling the same exact thing. This is really a problem when it comes to products like apparel, right? Now, the problem is if you look behind over here, you see these jackets, right? These puffer jackets. If you look at the first page of puffer jackets, almost everything on the first page will look very, very similar. Outside of name brand like Patagonia or something, it's going to be very difficult to diversify your listing. So what you need to be able to do is differentiate your product in some way. so that you're not just one of 20 people selling the same exact looking product. But here's the biggest warning to that. Just because you're different doesn't mean people will want you more, right? You need to make sure you will get more clicks and more sales and more traffic to your listing than your competition. So don't just do the pink jacket because everyone on the page has a black one. The reason that everyone is ranked on the first page with a black one is because the black one is the most demanded one, right? A pink one might not be able to stay there because it will not have the same performance. So when you're thinking about demand generation and forecasting demand, you also need to think about what style will get the most clicks, the most traffic, and be able to maintain the organic ranks so that you can get the organic traffic to your listing, right? So we're going to teach you how to look at the different styles, how to maybe think about how to use variations. You can have a pink one, and that should drive traffic from pink and ladies keywords, right? But you should also have the black one. And then how do you differentiate that black one enough so that you can get the right amount of traffic? And then how does each variation add to your total traffic and total sales and become a complement versus trying to just be the main one you sell? So there's a lot of strategy that goes into variation planning and demand planning when it comes to variations. So why else do you fail? Choosing an unpopular color design. This is exactly what I was just talking about. If you were to launch a green puffer jacket, you're not going to sell as many as the black or the brown or the whatever the most popular color is, right? So you need to make sure that you do that demand planning and that you test with real audiences. There are actually two different very, very good services out there. And one of them is called PickFu, Pickfu. You can use that one to test your image or your design or your style versus your competition, and they'll tell you, the real audience will tell you which one they prefer. Or you can use another one called IntelliV. IntelliV does the same thing, but has some additional UI, UX, functionality as well. So another reason that they fail is poor quality control. I see it on a regular basis where people nail the launch. They've done the research in advance. They've written their listing correctly. They designed the right design, but they skipped the step of making sure that they had the higher enough quality to be able to keep their reviews high enough to maintain the clicks and the sales. If your rating is lower than your competition, I don't need to tell anyone in this room, you're not going to shop for something that's 3.5 stars when the competition is 4 or 4.5 stars, right? So quickly you can kill your product. You need to do inspections at the factory level. You need to make sure that the quality of material that you have is at least as good as the best sellers. And you need to make sure that you don't skip steps when it comes to that. You're doing so much work to research a product, to look at the demand, to design the product, to get all the images and the content, the A+, and everything done, and then you skip the step by trying to be cheap and using cheaper products. All you're going to do is end up failing. Another reason is IP infringements. If someone had a specific type of style that they're the only one selling and it's selling really, really well and you just try to copy it, you need to be very, very careful because there's a good chance that they could have some type of intellectual property. If they have a patent or a design patent on their style, you're quickly going to lose every single dime you invested. I see it on a regular basis where people invest $25,000 or $50,000 to order inventory and they think that they're going to be the next best thing because there's only one guy selling this new style and he's killing it and you're going to be second. But then you fail to realize that no one else is there because they can't be, right? They have intellectual property protecting it. So you need to spend the time to do some kind of patent search and intellectual property search so that you don't lose your money when you get shut down. It's very common. This also goes for trademarks. Do not print words, like you can do the keyword research, and this is especially difficult. Most of my team is in China. I have 25 employees in Guangzhou in my office there. And when they do research and then they write the listing using my software, sometimes they don't realize that a word that they were going to use is actually trademarked, and it's a proper term. And if I put it on my packaging and I get in trouble, I have to recall all of my inventory and I have to repackage it, right? And that's maybe if I don't get sued, right? Maybe I just get a slap on the wrist and warned and my listing gets shut down and I have to relaunch it and it's going to cost me a lot of headaches and a lot of money. But you could even get sued where it costs you tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. So don't skip steps when it comes to looking at the terms as well. So we're going to validate a product from Amazon.com and go through what we would do here. Now, I had an example from yesterday. How much time do I have here? 20 minutes? All right. I want to give you guys who wants to see a quick demo of AI really quickly, of how I used AI to make this product better? All right. And then I'll do forecasting demand. I know Joseph wanted me to do a little bit of that, but I thought this was pretty cool, so I put this together. This is a sports shirt, a water shirt for kids, right? You go swimming in it. And I was like, okay, this is so plain. How do I make this better, right? And we talked about the plain one sometimes sells. If I want to sell the black puffer jacket, sometimes you just got to sell the black puffer jacket. But what I did is I went in and I looked at the best sellers. So I'm going to walk through this process with another product in a minute. But I want to go through the subcategories, and I want to take the best sellers of the product, and I want to understand the most important question that you need to answer when you're analyzing a niche. How are the current sellers getting their sales? Okay? I want to repeat that. You have to answer the question, how are the current best sellers getting their sales? Because like I said before, you're going to find that some are getting their sales over here, and some are getting their sales over here, and some are getting their sales over here, and you want to know what all of it. So you need to take all of those best sellers and aggregate them together and get all of their keywords so that you can be the best and understand the entire market demand, right? So we're going to take all the best sellers and we're going to put them together and we're going to dive it. And I'm going to walk through that in a minute. And this is the software I was telling you about. It's going to, in a minute, it's going to create this master keyword list. Now this master keyword list here is showing us across the top all the best sellers that we did. What was amazing about this product and what I found fascinating is that the best seller, this short-sleeved canoe surf and the long-sleeved canoe surf, if you look at the short-sleeve one, now this is the demand season for this because weather's warming up and a lot of kids are starting to go swimming again, right? But look at this. This is the keywords on the bottom. Boys rash guard. You'll see that they're number one. But number two, the number two most important keyword is toddler boy swim shirt. They're not even indexed for it. They are not even indexed for this product, which is fascinating. Because you know why? They did not write any bullets. They have no bullets. They have no secondary images. So Amazon doesn't know if that keyword is relevant because they didn't even write it into the listing. Remember, you have to establish relevancy by writing these keywords. You have to use the data analysis, like this data, to write your listing properly. But all they did is write a few keywords. And then you see they have boys swim shirts and boys sun shirt. And you'll see rash guard. And they're the best sellers. They're selling 6,000 units a month. They're selling 200 shirts a day. The next best seller is selling 150 shirts a day. And they barely wrote the listing. So we can analyze the risk of the product, but let me show you what I did to actually estimate the velocity of this product. What I want to do is go back to that master keyword list, and I want to look at those keywords. And if I look here, I can see the number of sales they're getting and the search volume on page 1. And I feel that I can rank on 70 to 80% of these keywords in the first week if I do the launch properly on Amazon, because of how good I am at doing the keyword research, using AI and my software to write the listing, and then using the software to turn on all the right ads. I feel like I can rank on the first page of at least 70 or 80% of the search volume in the first week, and it's very common. So, how many do you think I can sell? Well, I don't think I can sell, 4,000, but maybe 2,500 or 3,000 units. So I need to forecast 100 units a day of this product. The difficult part for me, though, is that I'm not used to dealing with so many sizes, colors, and styles. But what I wanted to know is, what would AI tell me to make this product better? So what I did is I asked AI, how can I make this product better? And so what it does is I selected these 10 best sellers here, and I had an AI bot go read all the reviews of the competitors and go read their listings and come back and tell me what it thought. Here's what the AI told me to do to make this product better. It says, improve the sizing options, maybe different body types. And that made a lot of sense to me because I know kids in America and maybe here in Asia, I've heard the term that they call them little dumplings, the little chunky kids that are little fat kids, right? They're very cute. They call them little dumplings. Well, in America, we got a lot of fat kids too, but we also have skinny kids, right? So it would make sense to me that the 3-year-old is not the same. Not every 3-year-old is the same, just like not every 30-year-old is the same. So maybe we could add some different styles. That was interesting. The AI told me to do that to improve the product. Now, it also said to improve the comfort, make it more breathable, to increase the sleeve options. But this is the one that really got me. It said to make a full-length zipper, but also vibrant colors. Now, colors, to me, kids love colors. But you know what? My biggest brand is a toy brand. My toy brand did over $20 million last year, right? Now, I love toys. And I love, when I think of a boy toy, I always think of dinosaurs. And when I think of a girl toy, I always think of unicorns, right? This is kind of the standard. But boys also love, if it's a water thing, sharks and dolphins and things like that, right? None of the top 10 bestsellers of these shirts had any designs on them, really, right? So I was like, wow, what if we do something with big designs on them? So then what I did is I went to AI, and I went to an AI thing called Midjourney after I formed this hypothesis, which was I'm going to improve the designs, I'm going to have more size options, and I'm going to make it more comfortable. I need to go prove that hypothesis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and I'm going to use Midjourney, and I'm going to write a prompt and tell it to give me some cool designs back. So you see here, I said a kid's long sleeve water shirt with a design of a 3D dolphin on it with a white background. All I did was throw that prompt in, and it gave me these awesome shirts. And then look at the sharks it gave me, a 3D great white shark on it. Look at that. What kid wouldn't love to wear that? It's so cool and scary, right? Like a little boy would absolutely love to wear that. Now, you see the head shaking no? Yeah, exactly. This is what we found out. So then we went and asked the real audience. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to know if I went and asked the real audience, which one would you buy for your kid, right? Half the people said that they would love a cool design, and half the people said that they want a plain design. So clearly you're the one that wants a plain design, and you're the one that wants the shark, right next to each other. So, but what's interesting to me is that 50% of the market wants a nice, cool design that I can do with AI really quickly, right? But no one is meeting that demand. So, can I take this product and launch it on the first page of rash guard shirts? Maybe. It would be very difficult. But the correct strategy would be that I have the plain ones too, and I have the good designs. And I use those designs to generate additional sales, additional traffic, and additional conversions. And I increase the overall performance of my listing, and I quickly become the best seller of this niche because I will rank for more keywords, I will have a higher performance, and I will have more options and more demand. But all I needed to do was use AI to tell me how to do this, and then use AI to design it. It took me less than an hour to actually put this together. So, what I want to do is, and you'll see that the people that chose the one on the plain ones just love the plain side, and the other one said, adventurous, love it. I like the shark on the front, right? It's a really cool design. So you really, really understand what that's like. Quickly, I think I have about 10 minutes left. So what I want to do is I want to show you guys in a real live demo how I would do the demand for the snorkel. Now, what I'm using is our software called Data Dive. And at the end of this, I'm going to give you a code so you can use Data Dive for free for an entire month and get a 30-minute free coaching call. So if you're interested in learning how to use Data Dive, you can stick around and get that. Now, what I've done is I've opened up this box here, and this is going to tell me all of the sales and different information around all the listings on that first page. And I'm going to load the second page too. And I just want to take the absolute best seller. So you can see the sales of this kid's children's snorkel mask right here. And you know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to just hit this button right here that says Discover Best Competitors. Oh, let me go back over here. And let me take this bestseller here. I'm going to copy this ASIN. And what we've done is we've created this new algorithm that's going to go all throughout Amazon to all the different subcategories, all the different keywords, and it's going to take all the bestsellers and put them in one result for me so that I can take the bestsellers and reverse engineer how they're getting their sales. Remember, the most important question was, how are the current bestsellers getting their sales? We need to understand that to really understand the niche and the demand in the niche. Now, this software just went and took all the bestsellers of kids' snorkel masks, and you can see this list is more curated than it was. And I just want to dive this. So let me just go ahead and select these. Oop. Oh, it's still finding more. It found another one with 10,000. Yeah. So I'm going to select 12 of these, and I'm going to reverse engineer how they're getting their sales. A little bit of lag here. Okay. 13. Let's go with 13. Children's snorkel set. Now, set is a little different because it usually has the fins too, right? But let's just go ahead and dive this. We can make a decision from here whether we want to go deeper and only look at the sets or only look at the masks. But within 60 seconds, generally, I'm going to reverse engineer all of the data from all 13 of these, and you can do up to 30 if you want. But generally, you just need like the top 13 to 15, and that'll be enough to really analyze it. And remember, what I'm trying to do is I need to understand all the keywords that drive sales for this product. And so what we're going to do is we're going to end up with like 10,000 keywords. So here's what the software does. Here's the problem. We're going to be ranked on keywords that don't matter. We're going to be like on page 6 for them. What we need to do is put them into several different buckets. And let me zoom out for you. Maybe this is okay on this screen, but I just want you to be able to see. All the bestsellers are across the top that we just selected. You see them all across the top? And you'll see here are all the keywords. We've got 159 keywords. The reality is I've got 3 buckets of keywords. I've got keywords that only a couple competitors are taking advantage of. We call those outlier keywords. I've also got these residue keywords. Now this is like not really a goggle. This is more of like a racing goggle. So I'm going to exclude that. I want to get rid of that competitor. I shouldn't have selected it. Now, you see this outliers bucket and then the residue bucket? The main bucket that we're in right now is called the MKL, the master keyword list. If you'll see here, this main seller is selling 10,000 units a month, and this next one is selling 6,000 and 5,000. Why is this guy double like the third guy? Well, he's on 95% of the search volume on this list. There's a direct correlation between where they're ranked and how much search volume and how many sales they make. That makes sense, right? Right? So if you're ranked for more search volume and you're doing, it means you're doing well on those keywords. It means that you're going to make more sales. Now, this third guy is on a lot less, so he makes half the sales, and so on. This guy is 82%, but his ranks are not as good. What I want to know is, how is this guy getting so many more sales? And what we can look at is if we look at the outlier search volume, we can go over here. We'll find that there are other keywords that a couple people are taking advantage of. Spear gun for spearfishing, water goggles, not too many more. And for the most part, this guy's ranked for swim fins because he's got the entire set. So he's getting more sales, even though he's not as good, he's getting more sales than this guy because he's got the set, right? So we're able to see that. Now, what I want to do is I want to take out any keywords that I'm not going to be able to get keywords from or that aren't relevant for mine. And here's adult snorkel mask, best, diving. But to make that easier, I want to take all these keywords and I want to break it into repeated words and phrases. We call those roots. You'll see here that there are 18 keywords that have the word gear in them with 248,000 search volume. So gear is actually a pretty big word that most people would not have known to use, right? if I'm just writing this listing naturally without doing a lot of research or without a tool like this, I might just call it a snorkel set or kids snorkeling, whatever, you know. But gear is actually a big, you know, root word. Now, full face is another style. So we can see full face demand versus just the regular demand by looking at these keywords. So now we can start to make the decision, do we want to do a full-faced one or a regular one? And it turns out the full-faced, if I just look at full, 23 keywords with 62,000. So now I can look at the best sellers, I can see how they're doing for the full-faced, for the not full-faced, and I can start to forecast the demand for my style that I choose to do. How realistic is it for me to be the best full-faced? I need to look at that. So what I would do is I would go do another whole dive with only the full-faced ones, because I really want to know how good are they at Amazon and what can I realistically expect. Now, if I go back to the MKL, if I were to take out any of those keywords that aren't relevant, so let me just give you an example of one word I might take out so you can see how easy it is. Let's see. You see any keywords that I don't want any goggles keywords, so I'm going to exclude this in phrase. I'm going to take out these 11 goggles keywords with 12,000 search volume from my list. So what that did is it cleaned up my master keyword list. Only the data that's relevant to my product do I want to stay there. I want to keep my data clean, right? I can make better decisions, I can write my listing better, and I can send better PPC. So I need that cleaned up. Now, once I've cleaned it up, let's take a look at this demand here. I'm looking at this line right here, share a voice, and I'm going to scoot over a little bit. And right above it, I've got 4,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000 at 40%. I really think I can beat this guy. He's only on 41% of the search volume. You know, he's not really great at Amazon, and he's still selling 100 units a day. But you know what else we need to go look at? We need to go look at how many variations they have. Variation strategies are really important. Oh, and it actually says it on the MKL, so let me open that for you too. So if you look at how many variations they have, it's right across the top. We just moved it there to make it easy. So here, variations, 32, 35, 18, 22, 9, 17. Look how many different variations you need to launch into this niche. If you think you can just launch 2 colors and compete in this niche, you would get crushed, right? 2 colors is not enough. If someone comes into your listing and they only see 2, and then they go to a competitor's listing, they see 19, they're going to trust that seller more, aren't they? All they're going to do is pick what color they want from that guy. They're not going to be satisfied with the shopping, the psychology of shopping by just seeing 2 colors on your listing. You better launch with at least 7, 8, 9 colors if you want to enter this niche. That's the reality of it. So if I come over here and I look at the content, how good are they at the content? I can really just hit this button right here to collapse this, and I can really start to see they're actually really good, right? Some of these guys have really great images. That's a great secondary image. It looks great. I usually like to have a benefit to the buyer as my second image, but the benefit to the buyer might be like full face is the benefit they wanted, right? I don't know. Seems to be really cool. Here's one that actually has benefit, upgraded breathing technology, very quickly to understand. You can see why this guy's the best seller. Best content, really, really doing a good job with SEO and doing a great job there. So if I go back over here, these are the guys we said we could beat. They have a bunch of variations. All it is colors. And this one looks like a shark. Look at that. Really original design. So this guy is not good at SEO. He was not good at doing keyword research. But he's converting on the keywords that he figured out because of his design. And he's still selling 100 units a day because he used a really cool way to differentiate. He created a whole new mold, and he did a differentiation with the design. So you can win on Amazon by being okay or just being, but if you differentiate and you do great product design. But the point is, we want to win because we want to be good at both. We want to do great product design, and we want to be really good at Amazon SEO. right? So imagine if this guy was good at SEO, he would be selling double the units. Instead of 100 a day, he could be selling 200 a day. So how do we forecast the demand? You need to understand the demand of your design. You need to understand the demand that the current sellers are taking advantage of and what they're not taking advantage of. And you need to be able to realistically determine what you can take advantage of when you launch your product. It all comes down to data and keywords. Now, that's going to wrap up the presentation, but what I want to do is share with you guys the offers that I told you about earlier, which are the free 30 days of Data Dive, which is on the right side. I also have that private mastermind, which is a full college level course. So there are 200 hours of content and over 1,000 members in the inner circle. Again, over 400 of them are doing over $1 million a year. We teach you how to sell on Amazon from A to Z, from the very, very beginning, from product ideation and validation, all the way through to marketing and SEO, and then how to scale your team and scale your business to tens of millions of dollars. So if you're interested in getting the support of a community that's very active with a lot of big sellers and getting a college level course, then the left side is going to be your offer. And if you want to just start with the software and get a free coaching call in the software for 30 days, you can use the right side. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Brandon, for your sharing. I believe the audiences will find it very useful using AI to achieve a better business performance. We now have time for a Q&A session. So, already so far.
Thank you. I know that Data Dive is so powerful, and this can be applied to Amazon, okay? Now, however, I have other platforms, let's say the e-commerce platforms, eBay and Hong Kong TV Mall, etc. Can I apply Data Dive to these e-commerce platforms as well?
So it's going to be difficult to translate the search demand because Amazon is by far the biggest, right?
Yeah.
But what we found is that maybe you can take the search terms, as long as the country is the same, people usually will search similarly for the same type of product on a different platform. So you can use us to do the keyword research and then take those keywords to run ads on a different platform, and you might find some success there. But typically what we're doing is just reverse engineering all the true demand on Amazon.
So it means that I can apply this directly on eBay or Hong Kong TV Mall, etc.
Hong Kong especially not, because the way people search for products is going to be very different.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.